was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people.
Unsuited for the times we're in. Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning.
I can do something no one else can.
You're amazing.
I don't want to be different than anybody else.
You never really know what anyone is capable of.
Mister! I've got your doll! Dad!
There are people who believe that this world is fair and good.
We need new heroes.
Like who?
Like me.
The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it.
If you want to stay ahead of me,
You need to keep both eyes open.
You got a lot of cash.
I have a thing about stripes.
It's about to get very cold.
Something happened to me.
Are you a superhero?
No, no.
Honey!
What?
Where's my super suit?
Why do you need to know?
I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. I know there are millions of people who are going to hate me for it. Wakanda forever! You can't burn me, you can't blast me, and you definitely can't break me.
Because it's not mayhem, it's bayhem.
Officers down in front of the bank. Automatic weapons being fired.
Easy, 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 easy. You want to drive or can I drive?
This is classic Bayhem. Through and through. What does that term mean to you, Bayhem?
Energy. It's about, I think Bayhem is about energy, but also there's like ingenuity too. I remember like one of my first days on set. You've never seen something like that before, huh? I bet you didn't have cameras like this on The Matrix.
At last.
Bayhem is controlled chaos.
There we go.
It's chaos that he then controls.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, it's chaos.
Yeah. For everybody else, it's chaos.
You know you're in good hands.
So you feel his direction in
Yeah, because
there.
it's
Like,
not mayhem.
yeah.
It's bayhem.
I did not create that name, by the way.
I know you did, but what does it mean to you?
I think it's my crews that have seen how I work. We work pretty intense, fast. It's very efficient shooting. We're leapfrogging cameras.
I think that Bay really excels when you give him a smaller budget. I actually think that that's where he gets more creative, focused on storyline. It's where he really becomes intimate with the characters. When you give him those like $100 million budgets, he's out there just blowing anything he can find.
Jake called it controlled chaos, and it seems like you put it all in the
I don't
ambulance.
have controlled, but yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like more like chaos on chaos.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, don't you move!
This one was especially using that word, that weird Bayhem word, because you have to keep the actors at a high tension level, and the longer you take to shoot things, the tension it's very exhausting for an actor to keep that level up.
And to get back there each
And get
time,
back
right?
there, I mean, there's nothing worse than shooting and then waiting, you know? You'll want to keep them on the set and go, 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 and then you kind of let them relax and we can go to the next scene, you know? So it's sort of an actor trick.
I get a lot of inspiration from the filmmakers that I work with. Sometimes they don't realize how much they share in common with the characters that they are, they're capturing. When he, broke out the bullhorn every once in a while, screaming and yelling in a fun way, it's kind of Danny's inspiration.
So there's a little bit of Michael in there. Okay,
There's a little bit
interesting.
I am giving you the world!
There's also a great reference to The Rock in this that I was not expecting. Does this mean that we're getting the launch of the BCU, the Bay Cinematic Universe?
What in the heck does that look like? You just blew our minds. We weren't in that scene. It was Hitchcockian, you know?
Yes, yeah.
It's too horrible to describe. Dreadful.
What would you want to cross over with? What should Ambulance cross with?
In the Bayhem world?
In the Bayhemic
in the
world,
Bayhem
yes.
world. Wow. I love 13 Hours. It's
Oh.
that's my favorite. I haven't seen The Rock. I know that's crazy. I know people were very upset over that.
So what do you say you cut me some friggin' slack?
Nick Cage every time. Sean Connery every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good choices.
It's time to go back to The Rock.
I think so.
No, I don't know. It's partially because the joke was, I think the younger generations know how to quote my movies better than me. They know Bad Boys by heart.
This? I can see
will look a trip.
And The Rock was sort of, I know Dwayne Johnson, and like, you know, a lot of the younger generation doesn't know The Rock, and I just thought it was a good generational kind of thing.
So there's no, maybe, you know, The Rock in The Rock down the line somewhere?
There was an extra joke on Dwayne Johnson. I didn't put it in, all right?
Can you tell me what it was? Or
no, it was a little harsh.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then he came back 3 minutes later, he's like, oh. I had no idea.
I got you! I got you! Take that, you friggin' psycho!
This is a reset to Gotham. How deeply have you fleshed out this world and its players?
Because the movie was a detective story, which hadn't been done in one of the movies in the way that I wanted to do it, it meant that Gotham itself needed to be a character. And to me, what was exciting about the idea of having a realized version of Gotham in that way was that it could be like an old Warner Brothers gangster movie or something, that you would go down all the sort of, you know, back alleys, and that if the clues were taking you to, let's say, a nightclub, instead of Sydney Green Street, you'd see Oz, you'd see the Penguin, you'd see iterations of these characters that you had never seen quite in this way before.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart.
What was the reaction when you first stepped onto set in the full Penguin regalia?
I felt pretty powerful. I don't know if anyone else was feeling my power. To be honest, I felt very protected. I mean, there was a lot of literal physical layers around me that I was hidden beneath. So I felt like I was in a sandbox. People didn't recognize me, like Jeffrey Wright. I had met him before that, just as myself. The first time I'd met him in full makeup and wardrobe, and I said hey to him, and he kind of looked at me and walked by. And then he came back 3 minutes later, he's like, oh. I had no idea.
Everyone else gets capes, cowls, masks, makeup. Did you ever get jealous? Did you ever hope that Falcone would get like a jaunty hat?
I had great glasses.
Yes.
I had a great scar, which was obviously somebody's nails. So no, as long as you have something, I'm sure Colin could say this, it could be the tiniest thing that can free you, you know.
Tiniest little thing. Shoes, the nails of a character, something just small that is just distinctly, and nobody may ever detect it, but just for you personally, you think you've traveled a distance.
Wow, is that right?
And on that note of, you know, Batman's rogues gallery, are they all on the table for you? Is there anyone in that Batman tapestry that you or DC wouldn't do?
I will say that there is much I want to do, many characters I'd love to pull in. The challenge for me, because the world has a kind of sort of groundedness to it, would be to find a way to invent anything that we did through the lens of that kind of vibe. I mean, I tried to figure out a way even that it made sense to walk around looking for crime in a bat suit, right? And that's where this Drifter character comes from. And that was really taken from Frank Miller, Year One. And so I think that will be the challenge no matter what it is, but that challenge is actually really fun. Even just figuring out in the scene the way Rob looked in the suit, if you light him a certain way, and you can see this in the history of Batman films, there's always that one publicity photo where they're just got a lot of bright light on them, and you go like, gosh, that actually looks almost ridiculous, right? Even though it also, when it's lit the right way, it's the coolest thing ever, and it's like the comics. So that's sort of true, I think, of the Rogues Gallery, which is there's gonna be a way within the tone of this world to sort of, I think, put it through a lens and a filter that makes sense of it so you can believe it.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
So there's more of Matt Reeves' Gotham to come. What would you like to see explored next?
Oh, I've no answer to this. I have no clue. I'm just such a fan of Matt Reeves. I just think he's got just tons of integrity, and he's so passionate about film, and the regard that he had for the mythology and the origins of this world, of the Batman and Gotham, was astonishing, and it was infectious, you know. So wherever Matt goes with it, I can't wait to see what he does.